Tbilisi mayor elections, an independent candidate to run for the head of the capital. Is Georgia safe for the people in exile? The Azerbaijani political activists are concerned about their presence in the country. The reforms in Georgian public broadcaster, the staff and the civil society are on alarm.
It's 7 p.m. and you are watching newscast on GIPA Eye with Suliddin Bagirov
and Salome Grelisiani. Fire in Poti market has left 2,000 square meters destroyed. The cause of the fire is still unknown to this moment. The damage has left the market traders asking questions to the authorities and the administration. Currently, the shop owners are still at the location. The investigation as to what happened has already begun. Few minutes ago, we spoke to journalist Levan Sulashvili, who is an eMedi reporter working at the location.
Few moments ago, policemen finished questioning the traders who suffered from the fire. As they say, the police mainly tried to find out about the fire and if they had any information about the causes of fire. As one of the traders told us, they have shared their opinion about what happened to police, and also they think that it was interest of Poti market owner and administration to burn this place. I can show you what situation we have now on market territory. About 70–80% of market is burned. Also, as traders say, police questions involve the amount of loss. As one of the traders says, his total loss is about 100,000 lari. Today was a meeting with the market administration, but it didn't give any particular results. The representatives Today was a meeting with the market administration, but it did not give any particular results. The representatives of market administration and its owner Nodar Korsantia explained them he would help them to negotiate with banks and postpone their loans, also with taking new loans so they can start their small business again.
Levan, do you have the information on what is the total damage?
As the administration says, they are still counting the damage, so the exact number of total damage is not known yet.
What is the current situation at the location?
The traders are still here at the moment. They are trying to salvage anything that has survived from fire, so they can take anything they can. After protesting yesterday and today, the traders have met with administration and have decided to stop protesting for now, for the promises that they have received from the administration.
There has been an information circulating that one of the traders have cut her veins. Is that information true?
Actually, the trader did not cut their veins. The trader inflicted self-injuries on their arm yesterday and immediately were delivered to the hospital. The trader got medical treatment and was attending protests today, as well the meeting with administration and with the police, so their condition is good for now.
This was Levan Sulashvili talking about the fire in Poti. Iran for the head of the capital continues. Today at Gudiashvili Square, the only independent candidate for mayor post, Alexander Elisashvili, will start his election campaign. Since 2014, Elisashvili has been an independent member of the city assembly from the Saburtalo district. Currently, there are 4 candidates running for the post. These are Elena Khoshtaria from European Georgia, Zal Udumashvili from the United National Movement, and Kaha Kaladze representing the Georgian Dream.
The protests on forwarding the occupation line into Georgia by Russian forces continue all around Georgia. Today, the New Georgia Party held a rally from the government chancellery to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. Protesters handed over 400 meters of road, symbolizing the size of occupied area. On July 4th, the Russian occupation forces deployed in central Georgia have moved the occupation line further into Georgian territory.
400 meters, which distances occupation line to the main highway. We symbolically draw this 400 meters long road from the entrance of office to the entrance of Ministry of Foreign Affairs, because these two government institutions are responsible to defend interests of Georgia.
There are no protected security measures. We cannot understand what the government is going to do.
Azerbaijani political activists and journalists in exile consider Georgia as no longer safe. After the kidnapping of Afgan Muhtarlı, an investigative journalist based in Tbilisi, many activists are worried about their presence in the country. See more details in Fatima Karimova's report.
Ali Gülaliyev is the youngest Azerbaijani activist who lives in Georgia, Tbilisi. It's almost 2 years that he has been living here, but recently his life is not safe. 29th of May, the Azerbaijani investigative journalist Afgan Muhtarlı was kidnapped in the city center, and after 24 hours it was revealed that he has taken to Baku, and then he arrested. Other Azerbaijani activists who live in Tbilisi are afraid of to be in the same situation.
I didn't feel, and now I don't feel safety in Tbilisi. But I came here for my safety. Unfortunately, I couldn't see. Also, now I cannot see it.
After Afgan Muhtarlı's case, Georgian government demanded the criminal investigations data from Azerbaijan side. According to public defender's representative, they also continue investigation regarding this case.
Most of the cases we started by our own initiative and in the autumn of 2016, but we also have several applications from the Azerbaijan activists. So the mandate of public defender's office is to assess whether decisions taken by state agencies were legal or illegal, so we already discovered several systemic problems which refer to these refusal decisions.
Ali Gülaliyev mentions that he had to leave his university in Baku when he came to Tbilisi. And now he continues learning English and tries to find a viable scholarship for him and continue his study in abroad.
I want to move to another country. As I mentioned before, I couldn't finish my university in Azerbaijan. That's why I want to move to the country where I can live independently and can study. That's why I planned to leave this country.
Despite this situation, Azerbaijan activists still continue living in Tbilisi, meeting with their friends and try to protect their lives.
I am worried about that I can kidnap it in Tbilisi.
As a continuation of the topic, we invited Afgan Muhtarlı's wife, Leyla Mustafaeva, to the studio to know the progress of the investigation process. Our reporter Fatima Karimova will have an interview with her. Fatima, the floor is yours.
Hi Leyla, thank you for being in our studio. My first question is, what is the current status of Afgan Muhtarlı's case?
So it is said that the investigation is ongoing, but till today the police nearly has done nothing, and the ones that they have done shows nothing. And plus they have interrogated about 200 people in different districts of Tbilisi, and none of these people have seen Afgan or has witnessed anything related to his abduction. And plus, they have introduced about 30 videos to our advocate, and only one of these videos shows that he has taken bus number 4 in Baratashvili Street, and that's it. So there is no serious evidence related to his abduction. And I think that the police has, so they investigate the case just not to investigate it. And I think that they have interest in it because, as Afghan said, that he has been abducted by the people in the uniform of the criminal police. And the police is investigating this case. And it means that they have a conflict of interest, and they will direct the case investigation toward their interests. And plus, he claims, we claim that investigation is not carried out promptly and thoroughly, because as seen from previous videos which is broadcasted in Rustavi 2 and other journals, that the police has already even intruded to the CCTV camera shots in private enterprises as well. And it shows that his abduction was planned beforehand. And the police is covering someone, some official from Georgia. That's why they don't want to investigate the case and expose those people who abducted him in the street and those people who ordered his abduction.
And what about your plans? What are you gonna doing in that case?
If you mean this investigation, we'll just follow these legal requirements and legal procedures and take the case to the court and later to the European Court of Human Rights. And and continue our life, that I will continue working like a journalist. As you know, that Afghan also was a journalist, and he didn't have any political affiliation. And let's see what will meet us.
Good luck, and thank you for being in our
Thank you.
studio.
Thank you, Fatima, for a detailed interview. In the borderline Khojorni village of Marneuli region, populated by ethnic Azerbaijanis and Armenians, the residents are migrating because of water and gas problems. Their only source of water is coming from Armenia. In case of a damage, it takes around 2 weeks for the repairs. See details in Ülker Natikız's report.
İşleme sana gidiyor.
İşlemeye da Türkiye'ye gittiler. Ne bileyim ben.
We are on the way to Khojorni village of Marneuli region. Khojorni is 70 kilometers far from the capital of Georgia, and people call this village as a border zone. One of the 78-year-old villager, Nergis, is living alone. Her children left the village and went to Moscow to find a good job.
If workplaces will be opened in Georgia, my children can return to the village. We don't have any water in our village, only few people and I have. I'm very shy when I close my door and go somewhere because people come to my garden and take water. That's why if I see someone, I'm giving my keys to them to come and take water from my garden.
But the situation is different for others because they should go to other village and take water from there. I am standing in final destination between Georgia and Armenia. This final destination is called Khojorni village. An interesting information, this village that here 40 Azerbaijani and 120 Armenian family are living together. But here's a big problem because mostly people migrated from their village and the reasons are unemployment, gas and water. Villager Hüseyin Abdulrahmanov says that they can't deal with this situation. Unemployment, water and gas, many problems and no one solves it.
Most of our water comes from the Armenian forest. When the water stops, we have to go tell the local Georgian border guards. Then they should go tell the Armenian border guards to fix the problem. It takes 10 to 15 days. During that time, we are living with no water at all.
Villagers say they are facing with these challenges during summer and winter. It's difficult for them to go to other village. Elnur Musayev is also from Khojorni village, but he is talking about road problem.
This village is 70 kilometers far from Tbilisi. We cannot go and come back because roads are terrible. It damages our car. I am living and working in Tbilisi because of this issue.
If these problems continue, what will happen to Khojorni village? People are thinking about this question. Should they migrate or should they stay?
Many villages in Marneoli region are without kindergartens. Because of these reasons, children have no possibility of getting preschool education. For the details related to the issue and the response of the local government, watch Nani Sisvadze's report.
27-year-old Gunay Binatova is the mother of 3 children. She wakes up every morning very early and sleeps late. As she says, the upbringing of the children is a duty of the mother. She spends the whole day with her children because there is no kindergarten in village.
My husband does not help me to grow up my children. I help my mother-in-law. Together we teach children to read and write as we can. In the village there is no kindergarten. Children need preschool for education. In this village it is not possible.
Gunay Binatova lives in Kutliari, village of Marneuli. As a former director of the Kutliari's kindergarten tells us, they addressed the government several times to solve this problem.
Also, I was a director of the school. When the children came to school from the kindergarten, they had a better education than the children who came from home. It would be good for anyone to wish to solve this problem, but this issue has been forgotten by everyone.
Similar situation of Gunay Binatova has many mothers in Marneuli. Of the 72 villages of the municipality, only 10 are kindergartens and 3 kindergarten exist in city. 2014, the public defender of Georgia published special report about kindergarten in whole country. According to research, lowest rate in preschool education was in Marneuli. Public defender addressed it to Marneuli municipality with recommendation in order to increase number of kindergarten and their condition. What was changed after this? We tried to find information from local government. Deputy Governor of Marneuli Municipality Zaur Tapatadze said that 2 kindergartens was built after 2014. According to Zaur Tapatadze, these issues of kindergartens for the municipality is a priority and it has developed a strategy to solve this problem.
In 2017, the construction of a kindergarten for 120 children is planned in the village of Saimerlo. Each new kindergarten is an additional expense for a local budget. I can't tell you exactly answer for your questions. I don't know when we can be solved this problem. This issue is under big question.
Preschool education is important for the psychosocial development of the child, says Nana Agapishvili, Psychological Center of Trust.
Kindergarten is a place where the children meet with his peers for develop of children relationship and live with class meets are very important. Also, it is very important to communicate with adults who are not family members of the children.
Nona Samkharadze is Marneuli activist woman. She is talking about why so few kindergartens in Marneuli.
Women's involvement in political processes is the result of this lack of kindergarten.
Nala Khatalieva is among those mothers who spend each day with her children. Her only duty is to care for her children and her homework. She is mother for 5 years, but there is no kindergarten in her village for 20 years. Nalakhat Aliyeva's children are not among the 675 children who have a chance to receive preschool education in Marneuli, because there is no kindergarten in the village, and Aliyeva's family lives 23 kilometers away from center of Marneuli. Nana Sisvadze for GIPA Newsday.
The Georgian public broadcaster is on the edge of the reforms. Many programs are already closed. Some are under possibility of a shutdown. The viewers of the broadcaster consider the managerial decision as a threat on the neutrality of the television. Details in the report of Anna Makharadze.
It's an end of July, which means that working team of social TV show Real Space is releasing their last program on this season. Mariam, who is working in Real Space as a journalist, was one of those first people who started making this project 5 years ago on Georgian public broadcast.
როდესაც დავიწყეს ეს გადაცემა, არ ვიცოდით თქვათ როგორი ფორმას მიიღებდა საბოლოო ჯამში, როგორი რეაქცია ექნებოდა, გახდებოდა თუ არა პოპულარული და მოიპოვებოდა თუ არა ნდობას და მგონია რომ საზოგადოებრივ მაუწყებლისთვის რეალური სივრცე არის საიმიჯო გადაცემა და ალბათ არ ვიქნები ძალიან სუბიექტური თუ ამას ვიტყვი.
When the selection of programs started in June, Real Space team have filled the application and passed the contest. But the new management of the broadcast still doesn't have clear vision about this topic.
რეალურ სივრცეშიც იქნება ცვლილებები, ალბათ, მაგრამ მე ვერ გეტყვით ბოლომდე 100%-ით ეს გადაცემა იქნება თუ არა ეთერში, იმიტომ რომ გენერალურმა დირექტორმა უნდა მიიღოს საბოლოო გადაწყვეტილება, თუმცა გადაცემა არის კონკურსში გამარჯვებული და კომისიამ ნამდვილად მიცა რეკომენდაცია ბატონო ვასილ მაღლაფერიძეს, რომ ეს გადაცემა ეთერში დატოვოს.
If the terms of the agreement is changed, the presenter of Real Space, Nino Zavdashvili, is ready to protect the rights of her show in any place.
ჩვენ დაგვშება ერთადერთი გზა მივმართოთ სასამართლოს და კიდევ ერთი გზა გადავიდეთ სხვა სივრცეში. მე ვურჩევდი ყველას, რომ ხომ არ ჯობია ისევ სატელევიზიო სივრცეში დარჩეს ეს მოთხოვნები და ამ პრობლემებზე საუბარი, ვიდრე ამ ყველაფერმა გადაინაცვლოს ქუჩაში.
The protest in front of public broadcast became quite common. The program of reforms created by the new management has involved not only the Real Space, but other critical and analytical shows on channel.
The socially and politically active part of Georgian citizens think that these particular decisions are putting under the danger the main purpose of the public broadcast, and also they are questioning the political neutrality of the public broadcast management.
მაუწყებელი ვერასდროს ვერ გახდა სამწუხაროდ დამოუკიდებელი მაუწყებელი, რომელიც არ იქნებოდა პოლიტიკური ზეგავლენის ქვეშ.
დღეს ხელისუფლება მოქმედებს მაგალითად იან თაძრის ხელით.
Despite the protest, process is still going on, and it can turn out dramatically for public broadcast. For now, it's hard to predict if society will be able to change the possible future of their own public broadcast.
According to Social Service Agency statistics, 450,000 people receive social assistance allowance in Georgia. However, there are still many who don't get any help. For many different reasons, people that are in need help denied social assistance. For more details, watch Teona Chakwetade's report.
This is 58 years old Nina Ligelenidze, who was refused for subsistence allowance from government several times in a row.
I have filled the declaration of social assistance 3 times and I had never get a positive answer. The reason they used to name is the land, the house.
As Nineli says, the land she owns in Khoni, in her hometown, is a heritage from her parents. Nineli says that one of the reasons of refusal could be the chickens, but she can't really understand why.
He asks how many chicken I have and if I sell eggs worth 200 lari per year. But newly born chicken can't give you an egg, and the eggs can't make your fortune.
In order to find out the real reasons of refusal, we went to the local social service agency, where we met the head of the agency itself.
Everybody has 2 or 3 hens at home, but it doesn't really affect the scores the person gets. This accusation is made up for nothing. The declaration itself is checked on the centralized level, and there are cases when somebody claims he has just 100 or 200 square meters land, and it turns out that he has 1.5 or 2 hectares land in reality.
Nineli has got the official letter of refusal from the Social Service Agency of Georgia, saying that she has got high score, therefore she won't get pecuniary social assistance.
Honi blames Tbilisi and says that Tbilisi decides the distribution of scores and everything.
I decided to check this information in Social Service Agency in Tbilisi.
I understand that someone will appear and say that she has sold 5 eggs and asks why we perceive it as an income of the person. It's natural that we can't count how many eggs or cheese she has sold. That's the information she says herself. She tells us that she has 5 chickens or a cow, for example. This husbandry does not increase her score enormously, of course. But the fact that there is an able-bodied person in family who can work either on the ground or do other job automatically means that he can satisfy at least her primary needs.
How can I earn for a living? Usually my neighbors help me. Once when I became ill, they collected money and bought medicines for me. I can't even get natural gasoline into my house because I am obliged to pay 25 lari in a month, and I have no money to buy the gas stove as well. They also cut my water off because I could not pay 37 lari and made me to sign 100 lari penalty document. Why should a person dream about getting old and retired?
Preserving a native language has become a must for the Udi population of Georgia. With nearly 200 native speakers in Georgia, Udi is spoken by more than 10,000 people in the world. Kakheti's Zinobiani Village School is the home for the only Udi language class in Georgia. Watch the details in Suliddin Bagirov's report.
Это дядя моя, сядь. Это брат, 2 брата у меня. Это тоже дядя, это мой муж. Зу Альвиназу Бархударашвили, зу Арезу Мемия, Етмиш Мугумджи Тарига, es азербайджанский, каури азербайджанский.
Mrs. Barkhudarishvili's relatives still live in Nij village of Azerbaijan. For almost 40 years of living in Georgia, where she was married, the preservation of the native language has become a priority for her.
Before going to school, they used to speak in Udi. When they started going to school, Georgian became the only language of communication with their peers. But they still understand Udi, even though they don't speak it.
Ну, понимают. Только не я, как я, по-уди.
I and my generation of Udis are the last carriers of the language, and only God knows what will happen after us.
Udi language is uncommon for Georgia due to the reason that the first settlers came here only after the Red Army invasion of the South Caucasus.
The new homeland for Udis was founded here in Kakheti in 1920s. Now, the Udis of Zinobiani are one of the smallest ethnic groups in Georgia, trying to preserve their identity. Mamula Neshwashvili, a historian and local of Zinobiani, has been actively participating in the cultural preservation process of Udis. His works on the research of the Udi alphabet and the translations of various books into his native language, including the Old Testament, are some examples of his contributions to the Udi culture. The translation of book was sponsored by one of the funds of the Swiss Confederation, but not by the Georgian government.
There was a need to preserve the Udi language. Creating an understandable alphabet was the main goal.
Since the independence of Georgia, the Udi language became a mandatory class for the Zinobiani village school. One of the initiators of teaching the language was Mr. Neshwashvili's wife Nana Serpashvili, who used to be the school director and an activist of the Udi community. The historian is sure that much wider work could be done in order to preserve the culture for the upcoming generation.
We continue the publication of books in Udi language. By doing this, we want to deliver our language to the future generations.
The small ethnic group continues its existence alongside their ethnic Georgian neighbors by having almost the same lifestyle with them. The only concern the Udis have is preserving their language, which is the main element of every ethnicity.
Classical music. However, the interest towards the genre has been decreasing due to reasons that is no longer profitable for musicians. Some of them are concerned about the lack of support from the state. David Sahuradze reports on the current issue of the musicians.
რა პრობლემასაც წავაწყდი კონსერვატორიასთან დაკავშირებით იყო ის, რომ მის აღების დროს მინდოდა საორკესტრო სადირიჟორზე ჩაბარება, მანამდე საფორტეპიანოზე სწავლობდი და რომ შემოქონდა საბუთები, ვნახე, რომ თურმე საორკესტრო არ გვაქვს კათედრა და გვაქვს საგუნდო სადირიჟორი. დღეს მეხსნიან, რომ მატერიალური კუთხით ვერ ახერხებენ, რომ ეს ამ კათედრამ მიარსებებს. ნუ ძალიან დიდი ფუფუნება, მაგრამ ვთვლი, რომ კონსერვატორიას, რომელსაც ერთ საუკუნეს ისტორია აქვს ზოგადად და ესეთ ტრადიციულია და ესეთ ვამაყობთ მითი, მგონია, რომ უნდა გქონდეს.
პროცენტულად რო ვთქვა, სხვა პროფესიებში ხო, ბევრად მეტი არის დასაქმებულ და ბევრად მეტი არის არაზღაურებაც. თუ არ ხარ მაინდა-მაინც ისე არ გაგემართებთ როგორც ხატიაბუნიათიშვილს და არ ხარ კი ისინი და რაღაც ესე ბარემპოიმი და ლისიცა, ხო? და სამწუხაროდ არ ვარ ნამდვილად ხატიაბუნიათიშვილი ჯერჯერობით ყოველ შემთხვევაში და ცოტა რეალისტურად რომ მივდგომოდი, ესე გამოვიდა, რომ ორ უნივერსიტეტში უნდა ჩამებარებინა, რომ ერთი ნამდვილად გიყვარს ის საქმე, რომელსაც აკეთებ და მეორე რომელიც გჭირდება შენ იმისათვის, რომ იწყო. განაცხადი შემოდიოდა ხოლმე, იღებდნენ 50-ს, შემდეგ დროთა განმავლობაში ეს ისევ დაუკლეს და 20 ადგილი იყო 10 ფასიანი და 10 უფასო და ეს 2 წელია უკვე კიდე დააკლეს და მხოლოდ 10 არის უფასო ადგილი და 6 არის ფასიანი მისაღებიდან. ნუ ეს სტატისტიკაც იმაზე მეტყველებს, რომ თავისთავად აღარ არის ხო, სურვილი და აღარ არის იმდენი ბავშვი. წელს მაგალითად წელს შევაბარე კონსერვატორიაში და 16 ადგილი იყო და სულ 16 ბავშვი ვაბარებდი და ისიც 2 ჩაიჭრა და დავში
ჩვენთან, ну აი როგორ არის დაუშვათ აი ნიკოლოზ რაჭველი ძალიან ბევრს აკეთებს ვახტანგ კახიძესთან ხდება ხოლმე რომ ახალგაზრდები მიყავთ დააკრევინებენ, მაგრამ თვითონ ანუ თუ კი გსურს სამწუხაროდ ასე არის, თუ კი გსურს მუსიკოსს რომ შენ მუსიკით იარსებო და შენი შრომის ადეკვატური ანაზღაურება გქონდეს, ან ცოტა ზღაპარევით არის უნდა მოძებნო ვიღაცა მდიდარი ადამიანი, რომელიც აღამერთებს შენს მუსიცირებას და გეხმარება, ესე რა ქვია ფილანთროპია, ან და კიდე უნდა საერთაშორისო კარიერა დაიკეთო. ჩვენთან ესე არის. ნუ ან უნდა მიხვიდეს დაუშვათ ორკესტრში. ну რა ვიცი თუ ადამიანს უნდა მუსიკოსობა მე ვერ ვეტყვი რომ იცი რა სიღარიბეში ცხოვრება მოგელის და არ ჩააბარო კონსერვატორიაში მე ამას ვერ ვეტყვი საბოლოო ჯამში მაინც ისეთი ცხოვრება ისეთი სიტუაცია მოდის ეს ევროინტეგრაცია ჩვენი გახსნილობა და პრინციპში უფრო კარგი პოლიტიკური სიტუაცია ჩვენ ქვეყანაში ბადებს იმედს რომ ნელ-ნელა ხელოვნებასაც მოევლება და ნელ-ნელა ჩვენც ყველანი შევძლებთ რომ ვაკეთოთ ის საქმე რაც გვიყვარს და რის ნიჭიც მოგვცა ღმერთი
For today on GIPA Eye.
Do not miss the next newscast at 7 p.m. tomorrow.